Let's see.
Well, Dr. Rather, if you're not able to get the video, that's not a problem. We can just talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Here we go. All right. Well, good. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Rather. Is it Michael, Dr. Rather? How do you like to be?
Michael's fine.
Mike, great. Well, Olivia set up some time for us to chat a little bit. We call this our discovery call, and it's our interest in trying to understand a little better the sorts of issues on campus that you're trying to address. And we'd like to do a little show and tell, show you a couple examples of our work at Delgado, South Louisiana, just show you some features and functions, and kind of check in with you just to, if there's an interest in doing a proper deeper dive demo, we would actually use this information to inform how we present it to your team. With that said, I guess a good starting point, Dr. Rather, would be for you, maybe give us a little background on who you are and what you do at Sowelo, and yeah.
Okay, well, I'm the Dean of Instruction. That's pretty much a catch-all role here at Sowelo. I know that that title means different things from institution to institution. I am basically the middle person when it comes to curriculum approval. I aid the curriculum review committee in reviewing those proposals, and then once they've approved them, they come to me, and I pretty much track them, organize where they go, update them, put out, create the curriculum maps, enter the information for LCTCS, enter the information for Board of Regents if that's necessary, work on the SACS side of things if that's necessary. That whole process, work with the Vice Chancellor, give her the information that she needs for her approval and the other steps as it moves through the curriculum. In that process, I also am the contact individual for updating the website and the catalog, for submitting those updates to our IT individuals. So that, I think that's really what pertains to what we're talking about today. But I have a number of other roles at the institution. Those are probably the most important for what we're talking about today, though.
In terms of Sowelo itself, the FTE, have you seen enrollment? What are the overall enrollment trends at Sowelo right now?
I'd have to pull up my email again to get the official number, but we have been moved, our enrollment's been increasing since 2020 with all the craziness down here with the hurricanes in Lake Charles and COVID shutdowns. Let me see if I can get today's most recent number for y'all. It's in the 2000s. I can tell you that much. I just have to look real quick because I know Dr. Helms just gave it to us this morning, the most recent enrollment report. Trying to see if I can find a total. It looks like our total enrollment's actually higher than I thought. We're at 4,125 this semester. That's all dual enrollment, all our campuses, because we have three offsite campuses, and then we do an online program with the Calcasieu Parish School Board, and that's like 12 schools that all use like an online system for instruction. So all the instruction is through one of the campuses, but they're all sites now. They just got approved as sites. So yeah, our current enrollment for no, that's credit hours. Sorry, I'm reading this.
Well, that's really helpful information as well in terms of understanding the campus structure. Those offsite locations, are they serviced by your single catalog today? Do you have just one catalog that services all your locations, or do you parse it out by different geography?
No, there's one catalog for the whole entire institution. Now, some of the elements in the catalog don't pertain directly to those we call them VIP students with the dual enrollment program. There's some additional information that we provide for them. Um, so yeah, the number I was giving you was, I'm looking at actually our summer enrollment, which is hovering right around 600. I have to go back to February to get our spring enrollment. So our spring enrollment uh, was 3,247.
Okay, it's a lot. I had 2,900, so that's a nice bump.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
those numbers are from spring 22. That was 2981 that semester. Yeah.
yeah, I talked to a lot of schools, community colleges, and they're having the opposite. They're seeing the opposite trend, and it's impacting, of course, declining enrollment impacts everybody from a staff and administrative perspective. Well, thank you for that background. By the way, Michael, my name is Chris Hyde, and I manage Louisiana along with Olivia Gooden. And just a lot of information just unpacked right there in terms of the curriculum process, that you're kind of the middle person in that process, and then some details on the catalog. That's really helpful. I guess I like to always start out with the question: if you could, wave a magic wand and build your own catalog and curriculum software, what would it do for you? What would it solve?
So right now, I think, I haven't really thought of the question and framed in those terms yet. Before, uh, I don't really see our current process as problematic, but it could be streamlined. It could be simplified. Currently, for for documentation purposes, I'm basically doing a tracking form 3 different times. I have a tracking spreadsheet that's an Excel spreadsheet where I enter specific information throughout the whole academic year for any curricular changes we're making and where it is in the process. And then for each curriculum packet, this is our curriculum packet that goes to the proposal. There's a tracking form that I put on top of it, so I know for the specific one where it's where it's at in the process, and I can date it. Um, any changes to the catalog, I have to do basically a Microsoft Word
Wow.
curriculum map where I strike through in red and font what's being changed for the curriculum and put the updates in green font. Um, so there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of people involved that look through it. Um, and there's a lot of, I mean, the paperwork is probably the primary concern. Our catalog is somewhat problematic, I feel. There is a person in IT who puts that together and has a few student workers that work under him. It's a PDF catalog. So updates are really slow in some ways. And also because he is so busy, he's also our website person. Often we have to have changes to the catalog for like right now, basically since November until probably this month. If we wanted changes for the next spring catalog a year from now, we'd have to enter them now. So we're entering it's not very responsive to our curriculum committee, the catalog. So a lot of the time when we're communicating to advisors, uh, we have to communicate to advisors changes that don't appear in the catalog because the
Mhm.
catalog is basically a year behind some of our changes. We've had some some curricular changes that were pretty much forced upon us by Department of Education to align with their gainful employment guidelines. We had to reduce some or some programs down to 45 credit hours or close for financial aid purposes based on those gainful employment guidelines. And those all went through this spring, but they're not going to show up until spring 25 in our catalog. So that's an issue. Um, there's 2 processes for updating the website and the catalog. They're not integrated. They're 2 form stack applications. Same people do it, but you have to, and then they want a different format for their updates for the website than the format for the updates for the catalog. So there's a lot of streamlining, a lot of clarification, I think that that your software, your program could bring to us.
Sure. Well, that's really that's really helpful. Why does IT, just out of curiosity, why does IT produce the catalog itself? Is that, do they just package it into a PDF, or are they responsible for edits and the content
So,
itself?
so for the most part, I I am responsible for a lot of the edits, especially like I have to submit the curricular changes once they've gone through the full approval process. I submit those catalog changes. There's some content that's specific to academic affairs. That's where my position is housed with the vice chancellor, that I also submit. There are other areas like our enrollment management and student affairs division. They will submit updates for their specific, sorry, allergies, their specific area. They submit updates for the catalog. Occasionally, school deans. So we have 4 schools at our institution: arts and sciences, allied health, transportation and applied technology, and industrial technology. And they each have a school dean. They will occasionally update some content in there, but really they have to go through me to get the catalog updated. And then I submit it to the catalog editor, who then produces the PDF, formats it the way he chooses. That's also true for the website process. So that everything, for the most part, is getting filtered through me for these updates once they've gone through all the approvals. There are a few other people who sometimes are involved.
That's really helpful. So you mentioned in your conversation with Olivia that you had evaluated course catalog software in a previous life or a few years ago, and it was cost prohibitive. Which do you remember the solution that you looked at?
I do not. I didn't actually, I wasn't part of that. I wasn't in this role at that time. So a lot of that's rumor per se, that conversations I've had with other deans and the vice chancellor, that they were saying it was cost prohibitive at the time.
Well, I'm going to share my screen right now, Michael, and I'm going to show you a couple examples of some of our work, and just do a quick introduction to our company. Make this real quick here. So this is, go back here. Just a quick overview of who we are and what we do. So as a company, Digiarc Modern Campus is comprised of several softwares that support the student lifecycle. From that first moment they go to your website, we have a content management system called Omni. And then once they're at your website, they might want to look at your catalog, which is built on a curriculum tool. So we have a catalog tool, a curriculum tool, plus scheduling, student registration tool, and a career data tool, which we'll show you here in a second. And then as the student eventually matriculates, we have tools to keep them engaged through our text messaging platform, which we call Signalvine. And finally, after graduation, we have a continuing ed tool that essentially allows students to look at classes, register for classes, and pay for them all in one place. So for our discussion today, we're going to focus on some of our work in Louisiana. We've been in Louisiana for about 20 years. As a company, we've been around for 25, in Louisiana for about 20. This is an example of some of our work at Delgado. Delgado's been with us for quite a few years, about 15 years, since 2010. And if you'll notice here, they keep all their prior year archive catalogs available publicly. You can do whatever you'd like in terms of how you present your catalog. Just show you some examples here in terms of the art of the possible. And then, of course, you can also publish other periodicals, other handbooks, like a student handbook, a faculty handbook, and the other guides. So this is just a quick overview of Delgado's. And if you notice, the branding closely approximates their .edu website. That's another thing that you mentioned to Olivia during your conversation, and that was um, individuals, somebody was responsible after updates were made to the catalog to also update departmental pages. Is that correct?
Yes, so as I was saying before, um, a lot of that filters through me. So once the catalog is updated, the website should be updated as well, and I usually submit those updates.
Well, this is an example from our partners at Hofstra University, and they have a catalog with us, but on their EDU page, they had the same use case you just described, where they had to make manual updates. They've leveraged our content connectors, which essentially allow you to connect data from the catalog directly to the departmental page. And when there are updates made in the catalog, they will also update automatically on these departmental pages. So you can see here, this is the BA in mathematics at Hofstra. And if you were to click on these classes that are required for the major, you're going to get a description that's pulling directly from the catalog. Any thoughts there? Would that be helpful?
Yes, yes, especially with the basically the auto update, if I'm understanding correctly. If we
That's right.
update one, it updates the other.
You also mentioned banner updates, manually entering there. We hear that story a lot. Do you guys, are you also the person that's manually updating in banner as well?
No, that's our registrar.
Okay. And is that Lori LaFleur?
Yeah, Laura LaFleur.
Yeah, I was looking her up before our conversation because I think a couple of years ago, we sent an email to her regarding catalog, and she's been at your school for almost a quarter century.
Yes.
Pretty amazing. So is she somebody that would typically be involved in evaluating a course catalog or curriculum solution as well?
Well, typically, part of the process is once she has entered everything in Banner, that's when I do the catalog and website updates. So she doesn't really look at that as much as the school deans do, um,
Hmm.
and the advisors.
Great. Okay. Pop out of there. This is LSU, their general catalog, and it looks very different from Delgado. Different look and feel. Um, we'll go to Hoosier Parish, which I really like. It's a nice, clean catalog, easy to navigate. Just doing a little show and tell. This is an example I like to share from Southeast Tech, which is a smallish school in southeastern South Dakota. I like this example because they leverage a lot of our bells and whistles, like video. Um, they they embed a lot of tools within their program and course data that allow them to essentially reach out to prospective students by including like an apply now button, request information and scholarship information as well. You can see that they've organized their programs, in this case by semester. You can set up if you're a user, you can set up a basic username and password and favorite classes. Uh, and and then the use case there is twofold. You can use this as a reference for when you go to register for classes. And if you're a prospective student, we can actually forward this information to your admissions department, so they and then in turn can reach out to prospective students that are favoriting classes in your course catalog. So it really takes that catalog experience to the next level in terms of reach. Um, there's another tool here I wanted to point out based on some of the background you provided, especially around, I don't know if this relates to the gainful employment guidelines, but we have a career data tool that we can also embed within your catalog. And this simply provides basic information. It's from the Department of Labor, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And it provides information on employment trends, top occupations, salary information. And of course, if we were to go ahead and change this to say, New Orleans, you can change it to any geography or city in the country and see what those trends are for other cities. Is this something that would be of interest if we were to do a proper demo?
Sure. One of the things when we're making curriculum changes, like for a new program or concentration, we have to report to our system and to our Board of Regents. Uh, employment prospects, and they have a website, lastarjobs.com or something like that, and a system that rates the employment opportunities for that degree plan by stars. So we try to create new programs and new concentrations that are 3 or higher stars. So I don't know if it's set in stone how that tool looks, or if we could add the LA Star Jobs like star ranking to there or something along those lines, because that's how we communicate in the state.
Okay,
The good jobs, basically.
that's helpful. Okay, that's great. I'll confer with my solution consultant to see if that's something that's possible in terms of configuration. Um, okay. One of the other key areas that you covered at the beginning, and having been in many curriculum meetings myself, I used to work at the University of Minnesota in the registrar's office and helped produce the course catalog over there. And one of my least favorite things was those curriculum meetings, which would always start around 4 o'clock, right when my stomach was starting to growl. I was getting a little hungry, getting ready for dinner, and they would always go, 2, 3 hours. And I always found them really less than a productive use of my time. And so one of the things that I really like about our curriculum workflow tool, which we call Curriculog, is that it can take a lot of that drama and back and forth out of the equation. And what you're looking at here is a public-facing example of our Curriculog platform from Central Washington. They make theirs publicly available because of transparency laws in the state, but it's good for us because we get to see how the sausage is made, right? And so essentially, this is their workflow tool, and they use this to support new programs, new courses, program changes, course changes, and we developed the platform to be so easy to use that a professor can come in here, an instructor can come into this platform, and with 7 clicks, make a course change proposal, make a new program proposal, again, with just 7 clicks. It's a very intuitive platform. If you're to scroll over, say, this proposal, AIS 103 for fall, you can see that an originator submitted the proposal, and then these little ovals act like virtual desks. So you can see it was approved by the department chair, then it went to the college dean, and then the registrar. And based on some of the information you told us about your process and how you have these different deliberative bodies, we could actually build those in here very easily. And you can have as many, as you can see, as this AIS 184, you can have as many people as part of this workflow as you need. Ultimately, what's happening here, if we were to do a proper demo, we would walk you through how you could, as an instructor, pull in a course that you wanted to make a change from the catalog, because our catalog and our curriculum tool are built to talk together. So when you want to make a course change, you can just pull it from the catalog and then run an impact report so you know ahead of time all the other courses that are going to be impacted by this proposed change. And then once submitted, you can see exactly where it goes at any given time. When it's rejected, you'll have rules for where it needs to go, where it's routed. We build out those rules with you during the implementation. But the net here is at any given time, you're going to know exactly what's going on with a particular proposal. Everything is time stamped. The left hand and the right hand know what's going on. We give individual stakeholders that are part of a particular workflow a unique color, so you can see exactly who's making changes at what time. So if you're to scroll further south here, everything is time-stamped. So it's built out to be very easy to access, very easy to use. Is this something that you think would potentially solve some of the issues that you're working through right now in terms of putting together those curriculum changes?
I think it would be helpful. Does it have the feature where you can download like a PDF document for, say, SACS documentation artifacts? Because you have to upload those as PDFs when you're doing 5th year and 10-year reports and such.
Yeah, I think several of our schools, and I'll double confirm that, but you're able to attach PDFs and include documentation like a PDF or a Word document within the body of the workflow. Absolutely.
So this information, like where each person checks off on it, you could download a PDF of that, or you could convert that information into a PDF
Oh,
for
that's a
download.
good. Yes, you would download it via a report. We would walk you through those analytics. Um, and in a demo, Michael, our solutions consultant, would walk you through how you would be able to export that information in terms of activity log, and then save it as a PDF afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
So just wanted to give you a quick, and this is the impact report you can run. You see exactly which courses are impacted by your proposed change. And scroll further south here, you can see the color coding we alluded to. Everyone has a different color code to know exactly who's doing what. I'll pop out of there for one of the other things. Yeah, before I do that, one of the other cool tools of this platform is managing meeting agendas. So you're actually able to send out the agenda for a particular meeting ahead of time and have folks that are on that committee vote up or down on proposals. The net effect of this is that, for example, Clemson University, their meetings used to last 2 or 3 hours. Now they last like half an hour because they've gone through all the voting. A lot of the more contentious up and down voting, or just the process of voting up or down, is done virtually through this platform. So, and again, in a demo, we would actually show you how all of this stuff is being tracked. So when Sachs comes and says, we want to report for all the courses that have been changed, you'll be able to produce a report for them. So we would walk you through those analytics, those reports that you can build out. I'm gonna pop out of there. So here's one of my favorite catalogs this week, by the way. This is South Louisiana Community College. They've got a nice clean look and feel to their catalog. That said, though, Michael, you mentioned cost was a big consideration, and I've shown you a couple of catalogs in Louisiana. I know firsthand that budgets are tight. I wanted to give you a ballpark of what this would cost, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a catalog tool and a curriculum tool. So our catalog, Acalog, is an annual subscription, and that fee based on the size of your school, and I would have to confirm, but looking at the numbers I have in front of me right now, we have you at 2,900 students. So that would put you on the lower range of our subscription. It'd be in the ballpark of $14,000 to $16,000 per year. And the same would be true of the curriculum piece as well. So just wanted to push out those numbers ahead of time and see your reaction. Did I give you a coronary there?
Well, I can't say I didn't expect it to be expensive. That amount sort of had that idea in my mind that it would be expensive. For both of those, we're looking at a possibility of $32,000 a year, which is probably outside the range of what our chancellor would approve uh, under current circumstances, to be honest.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's always challenging to get any, especially for a course catalog, getting this sort of allocation approved, because it's, you've had the same process, which has been kind of free for so long.
Mm-hmm.
We are able to, I would potentially be able to have a conversation internally. There's an interest in supporting schools your size and getting them modern catalogs. There's a little campaign we have. We can make a request to our CFO to get the number reduced. With that, I just understand what's possible here. If we were to be able to get that number down to like 28, 26,000 for the two, would that make a difference?
It might. I would have to discuss it further with the vice chancellor and sort of take the pulse of what she's thinking, since she's the one who would be communicating that proposal to the chancellor.
Is that Paula?
Yes, Dr. Helms.
Yeah, got Dr. Holmes. Okay, great. And then I'm assuming then it goes to Dr. Danielle Scholl. I don't have the name quite right.
Doc, Dr. Aspinwall
But
actually
that's
would
right.
be our chancellor.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, I can. Is there anything that we can do in terms of providing uh, background, collateral to support your conversation with the vice chancellor?
Well, I believe a couple years ago she did go through a demo for this software. Some of the names she's mentioned to me when I told her this was coming up are matching up with what you've told me. So I think she's supportive of it. It's mainly just finding the resources to meet the annual costs. So I can't really think of anything in addition. It might be helpful to do a full demo with the other deans, the school deans, maybe invite the registrar, Miss LaFleur, and the head of IMSA, that would be Miss Deering, and the vice chancellor. Maybe we could set something up there. Um, and then, sort of a cost analysis might be helpful so she could see how that's broken down. Uh, that would help make the case, a proposal there.
Yeah, the once we had the experience of presenting to vice chancellors and the registrar and the CIOs. When they're brought into the mix, sometimes that can change. Uh, they can actually find pocket money, some extra
Mm-hmm.
dollars to pay for things. So, all right, so this has been really helpful. I guess as the next step, what I'll do is I'll send you a kind of a proposal document, and it'll contain some bullet points on the catalog and the curriculum platform, and some links to some of the schools I shared with you, along with dates for a demo. So if there's interest, we could set up a deeper dive demo. We would need about an hour, and we would cover how a day in the life of a catalog administrator, a day in the life of someone managing curriculum, and really demonstrate the cost savings, and time savings and efficiencies that our platform could provide.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time today. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
You betcha.
Thank you. Bye-bye.